Good morning, Coolest Coast. It is time for Coffee on the Coast. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee on the Coast. I'm your host today, Tina Prigge. Delighted to welcome back our friend Dylan Chmura Moore. He is the music director of the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra, here to get us in the holiday spirit. Hi, Dylan.
Good morning. Like you said, we're live. Let's go live.
Let's go live. We've got coffee. We are ready to have a good conversation about music. So you guys have something planned. You've got a holiday concert. It is a matinee, Sunday, December 22nd, right before the holidays. This is an excellent kickoff to the actual Christmas holiday, live on stage at the Capitol Civic Center. Tell us who we're looking at. Who's Bergen Baker?
Bergen Baker is a star soprano. She makes her career in the Twin Cities, but she's got family from Algoma, and so she's a connection to the area, and she's been back and performed with the symphony in the past. So by popular demand, we're bringing her back in to sing again with the orchestra. She did such a wonderful job last time she was here. People have been clamoring. I'm not kidding. Almost every year I've gotten some sort of request from someone saying, please bring back Bergen. She was wonderful. She was so delightful. You would love her, please. And so I said, okay. You twisted my arm. She is fantastic. She's sung with the Minnesota Opera, with the Minnesota Symphony. She does a lot with kids programs and education and opera throughout the state of Minnesota. She is indeed a star. I said that, as I typically would, but she truly is, and she's a wonderful, warm person, and I think we might have a video ready to queue up to show us a little bit about and her person. Not just that she's a great musician, but she's also a wonderful person too.
I just want to point out too, before we pull up the actual video, what's interesting is that what I'm getting from what you said is if audience members really, really are passionate about something that they want to see or hear, that you are willing to listen to that.
Let's have a dialogue. Absolutely. I want to make sure that the orchestra is responsive to the community, representational of the community. And so, yeah, share your thoughts.
Awesome. All right. So what I love about this video, the symphony shared this on Facebook, and it really just humanizes, right? You think of the soprano, this sort of godlike, angelic being, but she's also just living a life. And so I just love this, this introduction to her. So let's take a listen. Let me just make sure.
Baker, and I'm a Twin Cities-based soprano, realtor, and mom to 3 small children. And while life can get a little crazy sometimes, I have not lost my flair for the dramatic. I'm so excited to return to the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra. And what I love in particular about singing Mozart is that it's just the purest expression of technique and style blended beautifully together in a tight, neat little package that leaves the audience utterly delighted. My name is Bergen Baker.
Okay. Wow. That's incredible.
She's a wonderful person, isn't she? Absolutely. So she's singing what you heard at the end of that clip, this joyous masterwork by Mozart called Exultate Jubilate, which basically means rejoice or resound, resound with joy. It is a religious song, though it's not from the Bible. And it is a wonderful representation of how we've labeled this concert called We Observe. It is a time of the year that is relaxed, religious or sacred or secular. It is a time for us to come back and dreaming and respect all those things that we honor in the universe. But Mozart was Christian. He was Catholic, and so he wrote this about text about loving God and loving the season, and it is a wonderful moment. It's probably the focal point of the concert, and Bergen's going to steal the show.
That is awesome. Now, Dylan, I was showing the first half of the program, and it shows the Exultate Jubilate. What is that above it? The Dance of the Tumblers from Snow Maiden.
So Rimsky-Korsakov wrote an opera. It is a wonderful opera called The Snow Maiden. It's a fairy tale. And it is a very, very, very old story. The first person who notated it, I think, who wrote down the story, was this guy named Alexander Afrensky. he's been described to me as like the Russian Brothers Grimm. So it is a wonderful old story. It's kind of like Pinocchio, where there's this older couple who doesn't have any children, and so they go outside in winter and they make a snow daughter, and the snow daughter comes to life, and it's about her growing up very fast, as she does in the story. It is. I won't give any spoilers away, but it does not have a Disney ending. Let's just say that. It is the Brothers Grimm, right? It is a little dark and a little spooky, but also funny and heartwarming, great morals. I mean, it is the whole package for sure.
With the Brothers Grimm, it's right there in the name.
A Disney movie about it, but perhaps soon there will be. Anyhow, so Rimsky-Korsakov wrote this story based upon this old folktale, and in it there's a lot of dancing. It's an opera, so there's lots of ballet, there's lots of dancing, lots of singing, of course, as well. But there's a part in the production where it's wintertime and there's a bunch of characters on stage. Well, the whole ballet troupe is on stage, and they're sitting around a fire eating gingerbread and drinking beer. I'm not kidding with you. And they're actors, they're comedians, they're I don't know, puppeteers, dancers, actors. They're in some ways a sect like you think of the troubadours of Germany or whatever, I don't know, gypsies or circus folk. I mean, however, they're called the Chmura, I think is how you pronounce it. It's an old kind of profession in Far East Europe. Anyway, so they're all around the fire and they're dancing and having a great time. And this is what the music is from. Celebrating family and friends together. And so as the season is about dancing, well, we have to start music and dancing. And so we literally are doing that with our first piece of the program. And the most dance too. We didn't get to it. Bergen's sample that she provided for us with this lovely long note that just kind of soared over top of the piano. So there's a lot of virtuosity in her music, and so either the music's about dancing or making us dance, or the technique of it is dance-like. And so we're bringing it back to the season in that kind of way.
Speaking of dance, I have to congratulate the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra. You had a beautiful float in the Lakeshore Holiday Parade. It looked like a snow globe with a dancer inside, with the snow falling all around. And I understand that it is winning one of the awards this year. So congratulations.
It sure is. I will take no credit for that. MSO will take no credit for that. We are partnering with a new ballet company in town, Manitowoc Ballet, and Beth is the name of the owner and operator of that company. And we're going to be doing a collaboration with her and her company for our February concert. And so she had this brilliant idea of putting together this float, and we said, yes, that's fantastic.
It was fantastic.
So I will give all the credit to her and her. Well, we'll call her coworkers who put that together for sure.
Bravo, Manitowoc Ballet. Oh, so speaking of dance then, and looking at this program, does it say polka?
It sure does. It sure does. So you see the name Johann Strauss Jr. there. His name, or his I don't know, his label is the Waltz King. He's wrote so many waltzes. Everyone knows the titles of them, and his name has become ubiquitous with the waltz. But he didn't just write waltzes. He was a writer of dance music, period. And so just a lot of things he wrote for waltzes. But he also wrote polkas. One reason why I love polkas is there's a polka for every season, for every holiday, for every and there's one for the holidays, I dare say. And so even though I think the holiday concert isn't really a holiday concert without a waltz, since it's by the Waltz King and it's adjacent with the polka, then I think I'm skirting around that issue and saying, no, we're okay. We still got a waltz in the program. So it's called Unter Donner und Blitz. And in German, that has to do with thunder and lightning, underneath thunder and lightning. You could imagine, of course, that is natural, with literal thunder and lightning in the sky. But I take that as be Donner and Blitzen, of course, the famous reindeer, and Unter is we're underneath that which happens in the sky. By reindeer, of course. But it's more than that. It's just not me squinting at the name and thinking that, oh no, we're making Christmas. It was composed at Christmas time, and it had an original title which translates to shooting star. Darren Schnupe, I think is what it's really called. But I don't know if that doesn't, shooting star doesn't define Father Christmas well. I'm not sure what else does. Flying through the sky at lightning speed, of course.
Yeah.
But it was also written for a certain kind of ball, a celebration that was happening at this time of year called the Hesperus Ball. And I don't know what's Hesperus is the evening star in Greek mythology. He's the son. Hesperus is the son of Eos. Yes. Morning star. No, jingle jingle, everybody. I mean, this is. I don't know about a Christmas without saying it's a Christmas polka.
Nice. How fantastic. Okay. I just want to remind people, we are talking about the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra's upcoming performance. It is December 22nd. It is a matinee, so it's at 3:00 p.m. And I've got the QR code on the screen that you can simply scan to get tickets. What's really cool, Merry Christmas, is that children ages 10 and under are free. So it's really accessible for the whole family.
And welcoming to the whole family too, where anybody is welcome to hang out with Santa. One of the things that I loved going into the mall, if you will, and having a picture with Santa. But sometimes, we don't have the opportunity, and it's really booked and crowded, and it's just a different world, right? So how do we offer that same kind of thing today and make a tradition out of it? Well, we have Santa. You can take pictures with Santa. I've had pictures with Santa every year that he's been on site. Mrs. Claus has been there as well in the past. Bring your own camera. It's free, and it's a way for you to make the holiday concert that much more memorable and fitting to this season. So everyone's welcome. You don't have to be sitting under and have a picture with Santa.
So that photo op is pre-concert, like before the concert starts, Santa?
Pre-concert, an hour before the concert opens, the doors open, then the doors to Santa will be open as well.
Awesome.
Get in line early.
And I was just looking, so this also says seasonal sounds of Mel Torme, Rimsky-Korsakov, and others. Tell us more about that.
So Bergen's singing this Mozart, as I mentioned on the first half. This is one of the focal pieces of the concert for sure. But she's also singing some holiday favorites. So the Christmas song everyone knows and loves by Mel Torme. I'll Be Home for Christmas. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Wonderful, popular Christmas tunes, modern Christmas tunes that I've set for orchestra that she's joining in with as well. So it's got a nice balance and blend of things that will stretch you and make you feel like you're in a Latin Catholic mass. Then also those that make you feel like you're at the I don't know, the work party, having too much eggnog. So
it's the whole Christmas season experience. That's awesome.
A tiny little evening. All right. But you're mentioning, you're showing that poster. The big thing, other thing besides Bergen singing that Mozart, is this Duke Ellington Nutcracker thing that's up there. So everyone knows the Nutcracker. Everyone loves the Nutcracker for sure. Rightfully so, written by Tchaikovsky, the wonderful ballet that's 2 hours long. But how do we enjoy the Nutcracker and continue to make it more modern? Well, one way, one composer, one artist that have done it, one set of artists that have done it, is Duke Ellington. Duke Ellington, one of the greatest American composers, musicians of all time, without a doubt. He had a bandmate named Billy Strayhorn. Billy Strayhorn wrote a number of tunes with Duke Ellington, like Take the A Train, Satin Doll, really some of his popular things. He played a lot of piano for Duke Ellington's bag. He worked with tunes with Duke Ellington's bands. The two of them got together, Duke and Billy. And in the 60s, late 50s, they wanted to retell the Nutcracker for their jazz band. And so they wrote a Nutcracker version. It's succinct, maybe it's 35 minutes for the 2 hours. And it was wonderful. But unfortunately, the recording was lost or got taken off the shelves for whatever reason. And so for about 40 years or thereabouts, it was just, no one knew about it. No one knew it existed unless you had an old LP from their first issue. And then in 2001, if my dates are remembering, maybe it was 2010, they re-released this recording and, all fancied up and things. And all of a sudden, kind of a holiday favorite. Retake on the wonderful Nutcracker, so much love. But it doesn't exist. But it's like that what I'm talking about is for jazz band. It's, horn, the rhythm section, it's a smattering of clarinets and a few fiddles to make it, more tied into Tchaikovsky. But then there's this guy named Jeff Tyzik. He's a living pop conductor, arranger. He's a big deal in the pop world. He's conducted all the great orchestras around the world and lots of great arrangements. He came around to it and he found the manuscripts of this lost music, and this is the 2001 bit that I was remembering, I think. And he scored it for orchestra. It's a jazz origin story. He's conducting orchestras for a living. So he was a perfect person to bring these two worlds together. The jazz thing that the Duke was really doing there in the 50s and early 60s, and it was a thing. It wasn't just them. It was kind of a trend in music making and bringing in jazz elements into the classical world in this compound kind of thing. So this music that we're performing, it will certainly be an MSO premiere. There's maybe been 2 other performances in Wisconsin since its reissue, I guess, if you will. And it is a orchestral treat, acoustical delight for sure. It has all the Tchaikovsky and orchestral magic, but with an upbeat and lively feel that will make you smile and tap your toe from beginning to end.
Wow, you have a fantastic concert planned for the community. And you did share a clip with me of another orchestra playing the Mozart piece that Bergen Baker will be singing along to. And I think just to give people an idea of what to expect, should we play a little bit of that clip?
Please, I always love to listen to good music.
Okay, here we go. Wow.
This weird scissor replacing gadget is quickly becoming...
Hey, you stopped at the right time.
Okay, well, that was great. Thanks, YouTube, for that random ad just shoved in there. That was not part of the program, but holy smokes. And I didn't even see the ad coming because I was so mesmerized by that soprano.
It is... it's a concerto, it's a cantata, it is a virtuosic tour de force. What I love about Mozart, one of his I don't know, his calling cards, was how he wrote for voice, was his operatic writing, more so than his symphonies that he wrote. The reason for that is he wrote with wonderful characters. So if you would listen to his operas, whenever the character would be singing a song, it would always sound in their voice, their styling, their character, their flow, their rate. It was really unique to their person who was on that stage. And if there was another character on stage at the same time, perhaps singing at the same time, they would have their own unique style, their own unique character, their own unique pacing. And it was all, and so there's always this conversation of musics, of melodies. It's not just, I'm going to write this one way, I'm going to fit it in. No, I'm writing for this specific character to do this specific thing. I don't know if it's famous yet, but who is the guy who's the composer in Disney nowadays, who did Hamilton, who did
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
There it is, thank you. So he's learned his craft from Mozart. If you listen to any of Lin-Manuel Miranda's scorings, Hamilton's maybe not the best example, but some of his films that he's working on now within Disney are better. That he introduces a melody and it's sung by a solo individual, and then what Miranda does, which is Mozart's, which is completely stolen from Mozart, which he should do, right? You steal the best ideas. Is he brings that same tune back later on in the song, or later on, 45 minutes later in the musical, and he layers it with all the other characters singing at the same time. Sometimes a duet, sometimes a sextet, and they all contain their original musical idea, the original pacing, the original flow, and it's sublime. It's brilliant. It was never done before, and it rarely has been done since, because it's so difficult to do. Make the harmonies work, make the rhythms work, and such. And I don't know if you're able to play that again, but Mozart examples that a little bit, this pacing, just in the first 30 seconds. So he starts, and we'll just talk about pulse for a second. So it's moving along, it's just kind of this pretty fairly vigorous kind of pulsation, and the strings have these kinks, and so forth. And then if you want, you'll see that the conductor connected before. And then I don't know, 8 bars later, the camera shot, I just remember, zooms out and you see the conductor from a far distance. And all of a sudden, now he's conducting in two. Bum, yugga-digga-dum, bugga-digga-dum, bugga-digga-digga-digga-digga-dum. And so there's this kind of pulse happening.
For anyone struggling with hearing,
The singer starts singing, and the singer sings in a slow pulse. Meanwhile, the orchestra is going dum, and so Mozart has this operatic style of writing where he's fast and slow with two different pulses, two different intentions that layer and create this wonderful tapestry of sound. Can we play that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. Let me pull it in. And here we go.
Got that 4-beat going. And then if you watch the conductor now, he's moving in a bigger beat with these groupings. It writes in, this cadence is ending, softening, relaxing. Now the soloist floats above this underlying string player that is very fast.
Wow.
Stops and she takes her breath. Mozart interjects someone to have a continued conversation with her. So whenever she breaths, whenever she breathes, whenever she pauses, then someone in the orchestra, oftentimes the oboes go, hey, we're listening to you. You sound great, whatever. That just continues the music and flow, and it's sublime.
You know what? Sublime is the perfect word to describe that. And I love the concept of thinking about music as having a character. I never had that that outlook before, and that's a perfect way to describe it. And thank you for sharing that insight.
And so the whole time they're just having this conversation. Maybe it be the oboes and the violins and the soloist, whatever it is, but it's just a conversation the whole time. And no one does it better than Mozart.
Wow. All right, viewers, you definitely want to check out the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra Holiday Concert. It is Sunday, December 22nd, 3:00 p.m. Show up before the show. Pre-concert, there are opportunities for photos with Santa and Mrs. Claus. It sounds like a fantastic performance planned. Dylan, I so appreciate you coming and sharing this insight with us, getting us excited and helping us understand what to really appreciate about the upcoming concert.
Thanks for having me. And for those, just a bookend of what we started with in the concert, for after the concert, there's we won't have a dinner, but we will always have the after party that we have at Stage Door Pub, just right around the corner from the CCC. Come and have that conversation because, hey, I want to hear what you want to hear. I want to know what you thought of the performance, and let's grow this orchestra and music making on Lakeshore together.
Yeah, come and bask in the holiday spirit with the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra. And what a great Christmas gift. If you are still looking for that certain someone who has, an appreciation and a love of the arts, why not take them to the symphony?
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Dylan. I'm your host today, Tina Prigge, for this episode of Coffee on the Coast. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.